It's good to have you join us again on another episode on Good Morning Africa, reaching you from your favorite station, House and TV Africa. Good Morning Africa is a program where we discuss current issues in Nigeria and beyond Nigeria. I am your lovely host, Confidence Ruben. Of course, you know I'm not here alone. With me in the studio is...
Good morning, Confidence. My name is Dorcas Chia, and you are welcome to the breakfast show of the day, Good Morning Africa, here on Housing TV Africa. It's always a pleasure to break the day with you here on the station. It's a lovely morning, and it's bright and it's shining, and we are glad to be here with you. Confidence? You're looking good as usual.
Thank you, and you don't look bad
You look
either.
more like a barrister today, if I may say.
Wow.
The law.
Okay.
Objection, my
Thank
lord.
you very much. Maybe I should be looking forward to, getting that as my second degree, if I can tell.
That's a good thought. That's a good thought.
How many years in law school?
I'm just saying, it's never too late. Just that as far as you're alive, someone said, it's never too late to start all over or get that thing you want to get. As far as you're alive, the reset button is always available.
I can go for another course, but not law. I mean, the number of years is much.
So you just like the dress code?
Yeah, the dress code is just perfect for
Let's
me.
leave it at that.
It's good to have you on the show this morning.
Yeah,
How
likewise. I am okay. I'm good.
Hope you slept well.
Yes, it's been a very hectic week so far. Very busy, but I've had time to rest a little bit and get up every day and start.
Talking about hectic week, let's not even start with the rainfall. The constant rainfall, especially early in the morning. I mean, when you wake up, it's time for you to dress up and go to work, and you're hearing the showers of rain on your zinc, and you're like, this weather is not work weather. But then the hustle must go on.
If you have mind, lie down on that bed.
They say goodbye to your job.
Yeah, and talking about the weather, when the rain begins to fall, I'm like, for those of us, not even those people that may not have, means of mobility to move and go to their various places of work and everything, you just start to think, and you're like, how do they do it? To commute from their homes to their places of work. It's really a lot. Everyone is trying their best in the country to make sure that they hit their targets and get everything. I just say kudos to everyone, and especially those that stand up at every raining morning.
Of course.
Get up despite the very chilly and comfortable feeling it gives. You stand up under the sun. The NYC anthem said it. Under the rain and in the sun.
All right, viewers, let's quickly take our charge for today. And when we come back, our guest will be joining us in the studio to discuss a vital topic that says youth involvement in peace building in Nigeria and Africa. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Good morning, viewers. It's a great privilege to be here. My name is Emmanuel Aromesani. I'm a HR and enterprise development consultant, and I've worked for about 18 years, and I began consulting since 2010, 2011, 14, 15 years ago, and I've had the privilege of mentoring and training a lot of young people. Today, we're going to be discussing an amazing subject, and our subject will be built around the subject and the caption, I can make it. I can make it. You can make it. We all can make it. The market is large, opportunity is overwhelmingly available for everyone to make it. But today, let's look at how can you make it? What are the requirements? What are the processes? What does it mean for one to say boldly, I can make it? What does it even mean by that word, I can make it? It simply means a mindset that is set to achieve. It means a declaration made. It means a commitment put at the table in pursuit of success. A focused individual, young or old, schooled or unschooled, once your mind is set, a declaration is made, and commitment is put at the table, or whatever you intend to do, or you find your hands to do, and you put in your best, then you are the person who qualifies to declare without any boundary, without no limitations, that you can make it. I can make it, you can make it. And so we look at this. clearly. I'm a Christian, and so I'll bring the perspective of Scripture just to lay a good foundation. Proverbs 23:7 says, as a man thinks, so he is, very clearly. Everyone who has the confidence and the courage and the requisite preparations and resources to declare that I can make it must have the mindset, well placed, well filled with every knowledge, information, and everything that requires to want to declare that I can make it in a particular field. It is important to also state that mindset is important. What you think is important. But I will always say to as many people I have opportunity of training and mentoring that you can't give what you don't have. And so it's important to begin from the place of what does it require for everyone to get to the point where they can boldly say, I can make it. Or as Philippians 4, verse 13 said, I can do all things. You can if you are ready. The question is, what does it take to be ready? Number one, we'll look at these 3 preparatory steps. Do you have a clear idea that you want to run to be able to get all that you want to achieve on that pedestal, on that path? So the first thing is having a clear idea, a clear path or purpose, because idea gives birth to purpose, and purpose gives birth to vision. And so anyone who must achieve must first of all have an idea that an idea on which ground you are going to succeed and then achieve whatever you want to succeed with. And so number one, idea. Number two, purpose must be clear. Purpose is the reason for being. And so if you don't have your purpose clearly understood and discovered, then you may not be able to say clearly that you are going to make it. People who have made it in life have a clear idea they work with. They have a clear purpose that have been discovered, and they have a path that is clear vision, because idea gives birth to purpose, purpose gives birth to vision, and then vision gives birth to mission, core values, as the case may be. Today is not the day for that. But so you must first of all fill your mind with that idea, carry out what we call have a concept of what you want to achieve. And so if you must make it, then you must have the mindset ready, the purpose discovered, the vision clearly stated as a picture of the future to where you see yourself in the next 5, 10, 15 years. Can you make it? Is dependent on what quality of preparations you have made. And let's look at the key preparations you need to make. You have to set clear goals on the part of vision. You have to develop a growth mindset. People who have made it in life have a growth mindset. They are not working by assumption, by speculations. They work with deliberate preparation, deliberate pursuit and focus in the path of what they intend to achieve. And so if you are listening to me here, viewers, one thing is key, is that everyone can make it, because the market is so large and wide. But one thing that must be clear, do you have a clear goal in mind? The vision clearly stated. And then do you have a growth mindset? And then number 3, have you built resilience and perseverance? Number 3, have you surrounded yourself with positive influencers? People who are promoters, people who can tell you, go, you can do it. I did it, you can do it. No expert around the world, the best of professionals around the world, did not just make it by themselves. They have influencers around them, promoters around them, that supported them to pursue their goal in life. And so today I'm telling you clearly that you can make it, because I am making it as I'm talking to you. And so I've gone through, grow through the ladder of career. And I'm here today to encourage you that you can make it. These are the clear steps. And then you must have practical tips you learn from people who have gone ahead of you. And that brings me to the point of mentoring and apprenticeship. Okay, if you don't enroll for apprenticeship, you are not qualified for mentorship. If you must make it, you must have people that have gone ahead of you that you take after, that you go for counsel, that you go for a guide, a compass that lead you into the future that you have not been, but that you are pursuing, to achieve. And so you can make it. I can make it. That's what our mind must be set on. It's not about, I don't have the resources, everything is not about money. Everything begins with a mindset. Everything begins with studying and preparing and gathering information through research purposes. Now it's easy to get information with the aid of AI and the internet. And so I encourage every young man, every young woman, young or old, age is not a barrier, age is a number. Go out there, get ready, knowing at the back of your mind that you can make it. Because I will make it, you will make it. And that is very clear. And I'd like to let you know Let's look at those who have achieved success in time past. What are the things that we can learn from them? Very thing is that they take calculated risk. Everything in life is a risk. Whatever you want to become, whatever you want to achieve, get ready to take calculated risk. But having it at the back of your mind that except you start, you can't finish. Except you start, you can't finish. And I like to end with this quote. Okay? I like to end with this quote. And it stays, according to Theodore Roosevelt, he said, believe you can and you are halfway there. If you believe you can, you are halfway there. This is very important and you must never forget that. Don't watch the clock. Do what it does. You don't keep saying I'll do it tomorrow. Don't procrastinate. Don't wait until all the circumstances are perfect before you get started. You get started. If you look at the work clock, one thing is sure that you'll familiarize yourself with the work clock is that it keeps ticking one step at a time. You are sick, it's ticking. You are not okay, it's ticking. If you can do what the work clock is doing, keep moving. Consistency is the name of the game. And that's what Sam Livingston made us to understand. Winston Churchill also made that very clear, that if you continue, then every step will count. I thank you very much because I'm still going to have an opportunity to come back. Don't forget, you can make it. And because you can make it, we all can together become a strong force for positive change. Thank you very much. My name remains Emmanuel Aramesani. It's an honor and privilege to share my thought with you. Have a beautiful day. Thank you.
This is Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts. On Facebook, Housing TV Africa. On Twitter, Housing TV Africa. Instagram, Housing TV Africa. Join the conversation and keep up with latest housing updates.
Welcome back if you are just joining us. This is Good Morning Africa here on Housing TV Africa, your one-stop station for news in the housing sector. And today, like every other day, we are going to be talking about something new, something fresh, and we are looking at the youth's involvement in peace building in Nigeria and Africa. Our guest is already seated here, but before we begin the discussion, let's just take a quick look at what this topic hopes to achieve in the course of the whole discussion. So we say youth play a pivotal role in peace building efforts across Nigeria and the African continent. With over 60% of Africa's population under the age of 25, young people represent not just the future, but the present force for change, resilience and reconciliation in societies plagued by conflict, inequality and insecurity. In Nigeria, youths have been at the forefront of community-based meditation, peace education and interfaith dialogue, often bridging divides in ethically and religiously diverse regions. Across Africa, young peace builders are using innovative platforms such as social media, art, civic movements, and entrepreneurship to challenge narratives of violence and promote coexistence. And our guest for today here on Good Morning Africa is the Executive Director of the Peace Education and Practice Network, PEPNET, and he is also a youth advocate. His name is Moses Abolade. It's good to have you on the program, sir. Welcome.
Hello, Moses. It's good to have you on the show. You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just dive straight into the topic for today. Just like it I said, youth involvement in peace building in the world and in Nigeria and the world at large. And seeing your profile, you are into peace education and practice, mostly the aspect of peace and conflict, and even that of even youth, the youth network also. So before we talk more on this topic, I just want us to lay the foundation and the bedrock for this particular discussion. So what will you say peace building is all about? What does it entail? What does it have to offer?
Okay, thank you, Dorcas, and confidence
You're
for
welcome.
giving me the confidence to be here.
Okay.
Okay, just like we all know, peace itself. Maybe I should start with peace before we talk about the
Peace
building.
building, yeah.
But because this is an housing station, so to say, peace building is good.
Okay.
So peace is generally known as the presence of harmony, tranquility, the absence of violence and war. But beyond that, it's also the presence based on different definition. This is not a class, so I will
Of
just
course, yeah.
summarize and talk briefly. That peace itself is not just the absence of violence based on a lot of scholars and theoretical framework. It's also the presence of justice, security, and development, which means that when you are in a particular environment, to determine that there is peace, that you must think of, oh, we are not fighting, right? But beyond, we are not in conflict or in chaos. Do we have justice? And you must be able to understand what justice means, which is the fairness between all humans. But beyond that, you must also ask yourself, do we have security? So briefly, security in this sense is not being afraid of anything. And that goes into three major things. There's state security, human security, and cyber security. And the other thing, which possibly in other questions I might still touch on it, is development. Are we developing? And this is not just for a group. Even yourself, you can use this as an assessment to determine if you have real peace.
Okay.
Is there justice? Am I fair to myself? Even as a person, are you fair to yourself? Are you secure? And security, I mentioned three things under security, but the second one is very important to us, human security.
Okay.
And that goes into like 7 different elements, which has to do with issues around food security.
Very
Can you
important.
utilize food? I know most of us, we cannot do without
We
food.
can't do
Yeah.
that.
It's
So-
part of peace and mental health.
Yes, and everything. you cannot actually live well without human
Without food.
security.
Yeah.
So I talk about food security, I talk about communal security, community security, I
Okay.
talk about social security. How secure is your social interaction and the reduction between classism in a society?
Okay.
That will also determine if that society, when people are so classist, it
Erodes peace
you
to an
understand?
extent, yeah.
So, and we have a lot of that around. So we're looking at economic security, you're looking at political security. How easy is it for anybody to become anything?
Okay.
So that's another thing
Yeah.
that makes. So I said 7. I don't know if I've mentioned environmental security, another security. But you having this background, this foundation will help you to appreciate a lot of things. And I included one in 2019, so to say, which is educational security, which is also the background of what we are doing at my own organization, which is Peace Education and Practice Network. So in essence, you must pay attention to these things, so that now going to what peace building is, which is your question. And don't forget development, which is human development and all that, to determine what you use to measure if there is peace or not. So that will determine how we are to prevent conflict or violent conflict in the real sense of it. How to ensure that conflict is managed, prevention, management, and the fact that it doesn't reoccur again. You can resolve conflict. We have been able to resolve some conflict in Northeast.
That's
But
true.
what are we putting in place so that it doesn't reoccur,
again, yeah.
So that is the simple definition of peace building.
Okay.
It's about the prevention, the management, and ability for us not to allow it to reoccur or relapse again.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing to be noted under peace building is about institutional reform. So you must ensure that institutions are in place enough that we don't reoccur a particular thing.
Okay.
So if you really want you want to build peace long term, so we are looking at the sustainability of the peace you are trying to achieve. You're looking at structures to make it work. You are also looking at the relationship that should exist between all the stakeholders involved.
Okay.
Stakeholder structures and all that things, so that the ecosystem can really sustain itself long term. That is peace
Peace
building.
building. All right. Let's talk about the current roles youth are playing in terms of peace building efforts in Nigeria and also African countries. What are these current roles youth are playing?
Well, Nigerian youth and African youth, we are trying our best because I'm still a
Right.
youth too,
Okay.
and that's to say, youth is between age, depending on which charter you're looking, African, UN, or Nigeria. So no matter which one you fall into, that is either 35, 29, or 24.
18.
By the way, based on international standard,
Okay.
it's just Nigeria. Our youth are very
From 18.
more older. Do you understand that?
That's true.
And that's also based on our realities.
Okay.
The kind of breakthrough somebody in the global north will make is not the same time that we take us here
That's
to
true.
make that same thing. So and that's why some people here that are 30 and 35, considering ourselves as youth, most times it's we are not really youth in the global standard.
Okay.
But for our own standard,
We
we
are
are
youth.
youth.
Yeah.
So we have been playing a lot of roles, especially with the use of social media. While coming here, I was seeing some social media trends around a lot of people that have been doing a lot of things like VDM, doing several things around calling out people. You know, now it's trying to be established as an NGO and all that. And I know a lot of people, myself, running an NGO for like 7 years now.
Wow.
It has not been rosy,
Yeah, it's not easy.
even when you don't know what you're doing at first. So young people at different point in time have taken up a lot of things. But the basics is that young people should enable that ability to learn first. And that's the gap. Maybe I'll still talk about that if there's a question around that. Now, because our role about awareness is going higher, Nigerian, African youth, we are very aware because we are always online.
Yeah.
We are saying things and we are being exposed and we are adapting
Okay.
different engagement from different places. We are adapting well. We are seeing how it's been done in other climes and we are adapting that into our system and we are calling people out and people are getting aware. We are advocating for different things. And I can tell you in my own assessment, we are not doing bad. We are doing well. When it comes to advocating for things, we still have a long way to go, but we are doing our best. And a lot of Nigerian youth too, I know there have been misconceptions around, oh, they are the one that caused violence during the election, they are the one that are doing this. But be that as it may, we have a lot more doing a lot of good things when it comes to transforming the ecosystem. Most youth are used during the elections. NYC are deployed, NYC core members are deployed to be at different levels of the electioneering process. A lot of young people monitor election. A lot of people do a lot of things. So Nigerian African youth, we are doing our best. Even I can say with little or no resources. So we are trying. It's very easy to say the otherwise, but if you're in the shoes of a lot of us, you know that with nothing and people are trying to develop themselves, they are trying to put themselves out there. I think Nigerian youth should be commended for a lot of work we have done. So, and it's in different sectors: agriculture, real estate, education, peace building, just like myself. And we keep pushing to be able to achieve something good, not just for ourselves now, impacting the other person. So that is something I would commend.
Okay, so
Yeah.
and let's get a clarity on something, because you just drew my attention to something. Because when talking about peace building and everything, for me as a person, when talking about that, my mind, I don't know if maybe a viewer too will be thinking, my mind will just go to, okay, it's just in a situation of conflict, where there's conflict, there's insecurity, crisis and all that. Then people come together to find a way to forge a way ahead and everything, look for a solution. But right now you've mentioned that, okay, youth are bringing about peace in different sectors, be it agriculture, be it real estate, and every other aspect that seems out of the box. So I just want to get clear that, okay, when we're talking about peace building, is it just only the, it's not just only the conflict part, but also in those other sectors? And maybe how? Maybe you could just elaborate more on that to give us a clear understanding on it.
Thank you so much, Dorcas, for that. We have classical understanding of peace, which has to do with what most of us know, and which is issues around what order, human rights, peace as human rights, peace as, which are very, very important to the discourse or the explanation of peace. So we also have contemporary understanding of peace, especially looking at the context where the concept is being treated. So, for instance, if you're treating peace, for instance, in Nigeria, most likely, contextually, you must pay attention to issues around justice because of our history. You must pay attention to the issue of security, and it's also universal. All these concepts are universal. It is now also dependent on how you see them from the lenses you're seeing. So beyond resolving conflict, and why is this very important? It's important because if you resolve the conflict between two people without thinking about what is the root cause of this conflict and which is the essence of peace building. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned that while I was explaining peace building, the explanation of peace building. Your concern must be that beyond this fight, what really caused it? Why are they fighting? People don't just fight anyhow.
Of course.
Now, because if you don't understand why people are fighting, like a major definition from International Alert explaining peace building points more into why are people fighting. So if you don't find out why people are fighting, when you resolve their fight, stop fighting, it will result into what we call negative peace. People will feel, let's just continue, let's just continue like that. And it's happening in our context too. A lot of people are broken here and there, but because you did not really reconcile by finding out, we had a civil war, which I would not have wanted to go that route, but it's also an example that is very pertinent to this conversation. Now, did we actually, at any point, do we actually have a healing process where people really come together, dialogue now, not a forceful one, where people come together and try to heal themselves from their wound? We had a program in 2021 at Peace Education and Practice Network virtually, and we invited people to come and talk about their war stories. It's storytelling for peace building, war stories for peace building. And somebody came on that call to share a story during the Civil War as an Easterner from the Igbo extraction. And she explained, during that conversation, do you know that she was saying it and she was in tears? We have to stop the program. We have to, because those things were very heavy. Now, somebody like that, she's also raising a generation of people under her. She will have told that story to them.
Of course.
How do you think those people that experience such things and they have passed such information down line to just feel, let's just forgive and move on? And it's very easy for people to say, let's just move on when it's not them. So empathy and compassion will tell us that we should. And peace building is about dealing with root causes. What really happened? How can we make it up? You might not be able to turn back the hand of time, but what you can do is that you can acknowledge that there was an error, there was a mistake. The same issues when you are with other people, personal, interpersonal relationship. Acknowledge that you are wrong. We are so wrong. And what are the restituted possibilities? What can we give? In what way can we let these people feel much ease and not making it look like we have gone, we have moved on, and those are the major issue when it comes to peace building. If you really want to build peace in a positive way, in a sustainable way, you must deal with that root causes, and you must be very, very sincere with your analysis and your approach.
All right, so just before you ask your question, I want you to talk. You mentioned the roles in which young persons have tried. They've done their best so far. You can say at least young persons are doing their best. And right now, I want you to talk about the policies that concerning youth involvement in peace building, because these policies have been made and we see things like, okay, they are supposed to be involved in decision making and all that and a whole lot of other things. But the question right now is, have these policies actually helped? Do we see our young persons in the rooms where decisions are supposed to be made?
Okay.
Because we keep crying, we keep hearing things like, okay, it's the more senior, elderly ones that are there, sitting in the room to make decisions and everything. Do you think, to an extent, even at the traditional setting, also young persons are being involved in decision making when it comes to things around and surrounding peace building?
Great question, but very complex one.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's tear those questions apart. Let's just pick them apart so first one is policies. What are the policies? Globally, we have policies that strengthens and empower you to do the right thing, and such as the UNSCR 2250, which is United Nations Security Council resolution that talks about the position of youth in peace building, the role in peace processes, and we have a lot of things under that. We have participation, we have partnership, we have protection, we have integration and disintegration, and I think we have the last one. If I remember, I'm going to share. Now, just to just let you know, we have those things there, and Nigeria has done a lot of work. By the way, we are the second to institutionalize now, and I'm saying this technically, not implement.
Okay.
So we have the youth peace and security document, which has to do with the youth policy, which also embeds some of these things, which we did on paper properly, and I think we are the second country after Jordan to do that, which was great. The major thing now is how we can work around that to ensure that it's well implemented. The question, you don't need to even bother too much about, it's good to go and read those policies, because that's even the background thing, the major thing. The major issue is that these days we are really distracted with a lot of other things that we don't really read like that, and we must start reading. We must improve our reading culture. We are reading, but we are not reading the right things. Let me also correct that.
Okay.
We read what is a bit more entertaining, and it's not our fault too, because I'm an educationist by background in a way, and the thing is, it's not our fault too. We are exposed to entertainment more. We are more by nature, we are more of the vibing people. So it's also important that we understand that it's not really our fault on that. But sorry, I digress. Now, going into the issues around policies, read those policies, then we can even now, after youth understand what the policy is saying, then you can utilize it. But just to help anybody that will be going to read it, the major question you should be asking when you're reading is, are these things I'm reading, are we seeing it in the research? Are youth protected? I said protection is part of it. If a youth protests now, or a youth engage in digital whistleblowing thing, like we saw with Scott in the real estate sector, trying to do, will they be protected? Will their life be protected if they go on a protest like what happened in 2020? Those are the things that should be coming to your mind, and that is about implementation. It's good that you can write and you can read some things, but how do we get it when it comes to implementation? So those are the things that are the problem. Now, I don't know if I think I've answered a bit of your question. The other part, please remind me.
Okay, I was asking, are the policies actually working?
Yes, okay,
for us?
that's what I'm saying now.
Okay.
So we have not been implementing them well enough.
Okay.
When it comes to theoretical frameworks, we are blessed. We have brains. A lot of people, myself, have put up a lot of
versatile.
a lot of policies, and it's very easy because not just easy. in the sense of easy to write. Writing is not easy. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying. But I'm saying is it's easier to put up people to write things and work and do stuff. I'm a consultant. I write stuff for people that you might not even know that we will write. But also, do people even read them first?
Exactly.
You know, and I think some of us that are behind the scenes that used to write for these big people, we need to start coming out now, because when you write something and you discover that you give it to a policymaker, they contract you and you do it, you know, and you're even engaging them before a plenary or something, and you discover that this person did not have any time to do any reading. The same thing with our major policymakers. They have a lot of documents. They just read it. You see them reading it out. Because, and what you don't really consume or absorb, you cannot effect.
Yeah, you can't give what you don't have.
You understand? So those are the issues. So we need a system that will help us to have right people in place. We need a lot of right people in place.
Yeah.
Because, like myself, I'm tired of some things. I'm tired of trying to advise somebody I should replace. And it's very important, because you will keep talking and it will be like a wasted effort sometimes. And the 4 years we go, nothing will happen. So implementation is key, but we are not there yet. We are still very low on implementation, and I believe we can do it. Young people are really coming up. Different people at different places. We must start doing something.
And if it's these things to be implemented, it's better it's implemented from the grassroots, even in the traditional settings, the traditional leaders, because we know that where elders are, it's elders that make decisions.
So let me comment on that. So our system, our local system or our traditional system can also be a challenge. But I have been in a palace where it's more of like my mate that is their king, maybe because of anything that might have happened to make that person bigger. And I could see young people there. I think it's about the person. But one thing you will notice about that particular king is one of the suburb of this Abuja is that it's a young person. So he's also educated, so to say. After the meeting, I went there to teach them about public speaking and leadership or something, and in the palace. And I can tell you, their expressions, the way he's willing to want everybody in the community to learn, was so admirable. And that is what happens when you have good people in good seats. So until we start being sure of stakeholders transformation, and how does this happen? The current system will not give it to you. The way it is, the current system will not yield power to you. We must try to be so strategic enough to be more powerful by ourselves. Connect with power, should connect to power. Then we can lift ourselves at different points in time, get financial resources, because we need that. Try and get as much resources as you can legally and in a very good way, and have a lot of cohorts of teams, group of people like you to bring up some things, and then you can start occupying spaces. Because if we don't do that, there's no way we will just be talking. Do this one today, write proposal, write them speech tomorrow, write them, and it will continue like that. So those are the things.
Okay, so let's talk about the barriers. That hinders or hampers meaningful youthful participation in peaceful initiatives. Of course, there are barriers. So what are these barriers, and how can we overcome these barriers so that youth can fully participate in peace building initiatives?
Okay, I think I jumped the gun already, and I've been able to talk about a few of them. So, but first on this question would be the idea of tokenism and exclusion. It's very easy to politicize a lot of things. It's very easy to say, oh, youth conference, we are doing youth what are those cliche words again? Youth summits. And bring everybody together, and you will see on the high table, what do you see? You see different high-profile people who are elderly and not really youth.
That's true.
You see different people that are older and not even in sync with anything that has to do with the youth.
Yeah.
And you now see the youth, they will be the volunteers for the engagement.
Very few.
Protocol,
And you see youth, you see youth
repertoire, which other one? Then media, you people will also come. And that is Youth Summit, you know.
Yeah.
And they will talk. And guess what? Before, after they deliver their speeches, they will leave. They will now create, we will now create. I'm also guilty of these things. It's not just, I mean,
Okay.
and the way we manage our events too,
Yeah.
we must change. Now we will now put a time for youth dialogue. The people the youth should be dialoguing with, which are ministers, people, policymakers, and not directly. I'm talking now from, I'm also thinking about my own experience. I have moderated a lot of dialogue at UN House at different places, and I can tell you what it's always been like. Somehow, not in all cases. We have tried to adjust a lot of things, and it's still a work in progress. Now, when we are now dialoguing, we might not see any of these top people to answer questions. Wait. And the dialogue most times is always moderated.
Okay.
As somebody, I have moderated a lot of some UN Nigeria event, and I can tell you sometimes you are so briefed on what to do before the event, and they are conscious that this is how the conversation should go, which I understand the sensitivity and all that, but we must be conscious that a youth dialogue should not be like that. A youth dialogue should be open and should be
a safe space.
a safe space. It should be somewhere that people can speak and they will be heard, and not with a defensive mindset. We have a lot of defensive mindset in the minds of our policymakers, in the minds of our people who are much older. We must start, and it also starts from home. You know,
Yes.
in a normal family, normal African family, if a younger person is talking, you must not, you should respect other people.
Listen.
While we are not saying that the youth will be lousy, should be rude and all that, that's not what it's all about. We must tell the youth how to behave, but we also need to tell the adults how they should behave, how to receive information.
Okay.
You must, as an adult, as an elderly person, you must know that this information is to help the system. It's not an attack on your person. And this thing I'm saying is also something that should be passed across to all leaders. And that, if you've seen that is it. Leaders at any level, even as young person, should learn to listen more. And you should know that it's for your own good, so that the entire system will be better. So that must be taken into consideration. That's one of the major things. Before we talk about funding, because if you listen well, you will know why you should give necessary attention to this particular sector, to do this. If you listen very well, you will know why it's important, why mentoring is important for this one. Because you are listening, maybe these people are disconnected from me. Maybe they need to understand some things I'm trying to in my own. Then when that dialogue happens, and that is why we don't respect things like confab or things like conferences. And this is the basis of how we can change it. People must learn to listen, not to defend or respond in such gathering, but to be able to say, this person is not attacking me as a person, as the president, or as no, they're not attacking, they're attacking the responsibilities and roles, the issues that are affecting their life. And when we start learning from that, and we start negotiating and talking and dialoguing from that balance, we'll be a bit more better. So indirectly, I've talked about funding. We have issues around funding. We have issues around capacity.
Okay. We'll love for you to
It's
talk
good.
about that.
It's good that you have a passion. Myself, passion brought me into peace building. While I was doing my master's at University of Ibadan, and I was the president that time, I was exposed to a lot of, it was cool. But even my master's certificate alone has limitation when it comes to capacity. During my master's, I have to go for different trainings, different peace and conflict trainings, so we have core trainings, we have external trainings operational trainings that can help you as In operations, we have thematic training, thematic capacity, like peace building, education, security training. We must be so willing to learn and continue to learn. If we don't pay attention to learning, our passion will become annoying or will be wrongly applied. Don't let me use the normal cliche words. Now, will be wrongly applied in the sense that you're passionate about something, but how do you really impact people? For, as I said, over 7 years, we are still learning, we are still trying to study the patterns of things. And Nigerian context is very dynamic, so we are still learning. So the ability to always want to learn, to always want to reach out, and that's why you see I'm very close to a lot of international guys doing a lot of trainings. I'm currently with Peace Catalyst International, their resource, and a lot of other things. I'm with different organizations, not because of the interest of, oh, I just want to be affiliated. No. When you listen to other people across cultures, across global networks, you become better. And so you can adopt some great stuff from those places and bring them back home to strengthen what we have here. So capacity is something we must be willing. And the background of capacity is our curiosity to want to learn. We are not saying you should be in a particular way or you should be perfect, but we are saying you should be interested in wanting to learn every day. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I like the fact that you are on the issue of training, and I want you to speak more on skills and even peace building initiatives. But before we move into that, let's just take a short break, and when we return, this conversation will continue. Stay tuned.
Get credible and authentic housing news at your fingertips by downloading the Housing TV mobile app. You can also join the African International Housing Show live from across the globe through the Housing TV mobile app. The mobile app features live streaming and trending housing news. You can locate the AIHS venue via the app, network with AIHS seasoned speakers, and live chat with exhibitors. You can also order house or building materials at AIHS via this app. Download the Housing TV mobile app now from the App Store and Google Play Store. And don't forget to click on the notification button. Available for both iOS and Android users. Housing TV is also on Star Times, channel 149 decoder.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is still Good Morning Africa here on Housing TV Africa, and we have been looking at youth involvement in peace building in Nigeria and the world at large, and we have been having this very intense and educating discussion with Mr. Moses Abolade. He has been throwing more light and shedding light to the very dark areas in this particular issue. So back to you, Mr. Moses. Before we went on that break, you were talking about the issue of young persons not having capacity. They are not training, and even maybe the training, they might be the little access to this training and all that. And I want you now to talk about the skills for you who is a consultant and also in the field you have related with people, and you even have young people who you are mentoring are coming under you. So for you, from your own perspective, what skills do you think young persons should possess to be able to make them very effective, so that when they stand in the room, when the opportunity comes, they're able to bring something to the table? And maybe also peace building initiatives that young persons can key into, in order to build their capacity and develop their skills.
Thank you so much, Dorcas.
Yeah.
So far, at Peace Education and Practice Network, which I lead, we have created a lot of trainings. We have a community we work with, and more than 500 people are there that I mentor or connect with, so to say. And we have different categories for training, either as a full member or as an associate, in a way that is well coordinated. So sometimes we need to also know that there's a lot of things that people who should mentor should know. Like myself, I'm a certified mentor from West African Network of Peace Builders. That's WANEP, or Peace Building. for peace building. Now, the reason why that is important is that to even mentor people, you need some kind of training.
Yeah.
It's not something that anybody can do or do well. And that is why training is also important. So what we are doing from my own angle, we do a lot of training of trainers first. I'm training people that we also mentor people, because we cannot be everywhere. And that is also the structures or the strategy that most likely will be effective or sustainable. Just like what Jesus did, he trained the 12 and the 12 multiplied here and there. So, in essence, there are skills around that. So I just spoke about the leadership skills around mentoring. As a mentor, there are trainings you can do to be able to mentor other people so that you can mentor other people. But you must also understand the basics. Now, on the basic level, a young person should be able to understand the core skills in peace building. And that's why you did that GNS course. The idea, which most likely is wrongly taught in most schools, because we have shortage of hands in higher institutions. And that is why some of us, we are also hoping that, and we also relate with those universities to see how they can engage some of us to integrate properly, because they bring somebody from English, they bring people from, if you remember, they just bring people from different departments to come and teach those courses, because it's just peace and conflict now. They believe anybody can take it.
It's like a general course.
But it's not as easy as that. Peace and conflict is a professional course, just like medicine,
Wow.
just like engineering. Because if you pass the wrong thing to the wrong, in a wrong approach to the wrong, to a particular group of people, there are tendencies that you don't know the kind of damage might happen. A medical doctor will actually destroy a few people at a particular time. A particular misinformation from a peace scholar or an advocate can actually put a whole community on fire. And that is why you must be trained, and it's a professional thing. It's not just anything. And that is why it requires training. And that's what we do at PEPNET. There are other organizations like Society for Peace Studies and Practice. That's the profession, like the professional body for peace builders, which I used to be a secretary of one of the state chapters. Now, it's important that we understand those things. Going back to the issues of core skills like understanding conflict analysis. We must be able to understand, anybody should be able to do a simple conflict analysis. And you see it in my books, like the peace education for secondary schools. I will have even brought them here. Maybe you see it is also in peace education for training manual. You must understand conflict analysis skills. You must understand conflict management skills. You know, you must be able to understand all these concepts I have explained. You must also be able to understand listening, effective communication skills. Those are basic. Those sounds basic, but until you are in trouble and you need an escape route or a third party or a mediator, that's when you know the value of these things. So you must be able to also when I talk about effective communication, I've talked about conflict management. So there are a lot of things under that. But because of time, I wouldn't want to be going into it. So possibly for people who want to know, they can reach out and you can do business.
Behind the scenes. All right. So how can government and international organizations support youth-led peace-building initiatives in conflict-prone areas?
Thank you for that question. So first is to even acknowledge that we are doing well.
Okay.
Like I said, a lot of things happen when people know that they are being appreciated. At least people have not been that supported, so to say, locally, and they can be doing some things. Can you actually put these people or promote them in a way, in a better way? Can you actually let them know that they are seen and they are heard? Let's start from there. When you're organizing a program or you're doing something, can you actually invite them, not just as your volunteers or as people to make the program good, but to be on the same seat, on the same platform, hearing them out, not leaving when you are done with your speeches. Can we start with those basic things? Now, if they feel that you are part of their life, just like parenthood, when people know that you are present, you are really present, you are listening. Everything is not about the funding. We have seen families that doesn't have enough funds, but because they know that my father is here, my mom is always with me. When I'm doing this thing, they are always present. When we invite you, you are not just thinking about what you will gain from an event.
Okay.
You are thinking of, oh, I need to play my quota to mentor these people through this opportunity. You see it as an opportunity
Yeah.
to be part of any of those processes. That is how we can start as a government now. And from there, you start looking at your budget. Go back to your budget. What is the budget for youth development ministry right now? What's the percentage of budget to education? Because those are the places you can say your interest lies. If you're interested in how you look now, and I can see that you put a lot of money into it. Yes, yes or yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So if you are interested in young people, look at what does a young person really want. They want a very good school. They really want to be well integrated into the society. They want affiliation with different people.
Jobs.
They want jobs. They want fulfillment of purpose. They want to be able to purchase things and get things and be able to also be seen as, oh, we are part of this society.
Yeah.
So when you understand that, and that cut across issues around health, issues around education, issues around every other thing. So this is what you do in your budgeting. We cannot be having less than 5% budget on education or around that for education, and you are saying you are interested in young people. That will be more of your young
Location,
population will be into education.
Of course.
So you cannot tell me you are interested if you don't adjust your budget. If you don't adjust your budget on issues around health, which also affect almost everybody, but mainstreaming properly youth into it, then you cannot tell me you are interested in youth. So you look at your budget. We need to adjust our budget system instead of spending money on war or intended war. Because if you look at the budget for defense, you know where the interest of the country lies.
Yeah.
So we must readjust this in the way that the ones that affect youth, all the budget must include a major percentage for youth population. In a big, because we constitute more than 50% of this population. So definitely it must reflect in the budget if we really care. Then the other one most likely will be that we should be very interested in ensuring that when people speak, I have said that about over and over, listen, but also be interested in mentoring these people.
Mentorship. Okay.
You have experience. You have just, no matter how wobble your experience might be, is an experience. Try and also know when to leave the seat. African leaders and Nigerian leaders are very concerned about holding onto power. Learn on when, and that also starts when they were young people. And we are telling the young people now, learn to start receding power gradually.
Okay.
Then monitor the people or mentor the young people from our side. So thank you very much.
Okay,
Alright.
thank you very much. One last question before we let you go. We just have a few minutes. So let's say in 1 minute, this is for you now. If given the opportunity and the resources now, what peace building project would you go into or establish that will be able to benefit people in your community, the young persons in your community?
So currently PepNet is working on peace education and management training. We train every year. We train twice in a year, in April and in August. So we're having an August special edition. It's an international kind of training with local actors too. We have Miss facilitators. We are hoping to train like 80 persons. The idea is that 80 persons should be able to train like more than 800 people if they are taking 10 people. Now, so that is one of our strategies. We used to have, and in September or October, depending on what is applicable, we used to host our Peace Education and Practice Conference, PEPCON, once in 2 years, but we are hoping to increase the frequency so that because of the demands. Now, when we bring people together like that, is to be able to, like for us at PepNet, unlike other peace education and organizations, we are more concerned about getting across or increasing peace education to possible victims of violence, not really people that are spooky or elite in nature. We're looking at people that might not necessarily have the opportunity of coming to school or being very, So we are looking at innovative means like the media. So what we are looking at for the conference, our conferences, as is not like the spooky conference of submit paper and all that. That's not the major. We might have such, but the paper will not be about referencing this one, this one. I'm also in that. I'm an academic in a way, but also we are trying to ensure that conferences are more practical to the context of Nigeria. So using innovative methods like we're doing, PepNet has run a TV program on some TV stations in Abuja. And possibly that's also the kind of programs we are looking at. Most likely we might still be coming back to you to do some things together. So those are, because we are looking at, this is a mass population. Everybody will not be in school. Everybody will not be in classist or opportune platforms. So we must see how we can reach people in mass with the right information, like what we are doing now. We're already doing one now. So and I think the more we do it, it will not happen in a day. The more we organize the one for different categories of persons, for people who are schooled and all that, we must also plan for informal and non-formal arrangement, and we are doing that already. And this is just we are in progress. It's a work in progress. And I know we are going to get there.
All right.
Let me stop here.
Thank you very much.
So much.
Thank you.
We've learned a lot about peace building today. Thank you so much, Moses Abolade. It was nice having you on the show.
It's a pleasure.
All right, viewers, this is where we wrap up on today's episode on Good Morning Africa. Remember the topic, peace building. Now I'll leave you with this. Peace building is very pertinent. It is important for every nation to thrive beyond measures. Many thanks for watching, and do stay tuned to Housing TV Africa for more news and insightful updates. I am your lovely host, Confidence Woman.
And I am Dorcas Chia. Have a lovely day, and don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you want to be very direct and back-to-back with us on all the housing news updates, you can download the Housing TV app on Google Play Store and your Apple Store. Keep watching Housing TV Africa. Bye for now.